A very good evening to you all. Thank you for watching UBC Television. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Elizabeth Nakakuni on sign language, and together we'll be giving you the news tonight. And without further ado, let's start with our first story. FDC President at Najana Nkumbi, Engineer Patrick Oboy, Amriat is engaging with presidents from other political parties that include the Democratic Party, Uganda People's Congress and National Unity Platform to convince them to rally behind the FDC flag bearer, Dr. Rosemary Alwoki Ogwal, in Dokolo Woman MP Member of Parliament by-elections. The Deputy Secretary Publicity, Mulindwa Walid Lubega, told the media that at Najana Nkumbi that they believed and have presented a candidate with the best credentials. Meanwhile, on merging government institutions, departments and agencies, FDC says that rationalization will minimize public expenditure but request Ministry of Public Service to do it in a phased manner and also to eliminate redundancy. More details in this report.
Top leadership led by the party president, the Honorable Engineer Patrick Oboy, are also in high gear engaging other opposition stakeholders, party leaders like the Uganda People's Congress, the Honorable Aquafina, the Democratic Party, the National Unity Platform, in a bid to rally behind the FDC flag bearer. We believe that the FDC has been the incumbent. We hold the territory of Dokolo on aspect that we have been having a district woman member of parliament, the late Honorable Cecilia Atimo Ogwal. We also hold the position of the district LOC5 chairman. So that makes our candidate to have a pedigree over other contenders who have expressed interest. So we are in conversation with other political leaders in order to give way for our flag bearer so that we win collectively as opposition. We pray that Parliament should request from the Ministry of Public Service a comprehensive phase-by-phase strategies to fast-track the rationalization of MDAs to eliminate redundancies in the medium term, reduce the cost of running government and improve efficiency, but also should cater in the merging or disbanding of certain redundant ministries to curb redundancy and avert corruption. Ministries like the one of Karamoja, Luwelo Triangle, Bunyoro, Northern Uganda Affairs, among others. We think such ministries should be merged into one ministry, and that should be the Ministry of Special Regions.
And in more news, Forum for Democratic Change, the Katonga faction plans to hold National Council meetings on the 21st of this month to present the party reports and achievements to their president. The FDC Katonga chairman Waswa Birigwa also clarified on the rumors circulating on social media about reconciliation. The party will have engagements to decide on the candidate in Dokolo by-election. Details in this report.
I'm here to present to you our chairman, our national chairman, so that he addresses the nation. If you are ready.
The National Council meeting is scheduled to take place on the 21st, namely to hear or to present reports for our president, the report of the Treasury, the Secretary General, and report of the EC. It's going to discuss, all these reports are going to discuss the various things that each department or each portfolio has been able to achieve during this time since we held our delegate conference. Like you, we've been hearing rumors that there is people who are reaching out to each other, but it's not on an official basis that we have agreed to do such a thing. In I could state, as far as I'm concerned, I only want to be involved in that if Amria, Tananda, Lamafavi, they resign, and if necessary, I will also resign. Then let other leaders come on board, and then I think then we can be able to move on. But as well be a part of it on that particular elections. But we are supposed to be having a meeting later on this afternoon to make a decision, and you'll hear about it as soon as we are done.
The local leaders of Muyenga, Bukasa and Namuwongo area and security organs have held an engagement to address the problem of theft and robbery committed by border riders. They have resolved to pass bylaws to register all border motorists and install cameras at every stage, including security lights. Now, this engagement was attended by the UPDF Commander Operation in Kampala, Colonel Fred Mwesije, District Police Commander of Kabalagala, DPC Emmanuel Mafundo, Muyenga 2 Chairman Yasin Omar, and others attended this meeting.
In the past 2 months, more than 10 people have been beaten and robbed by border motorists in Muyenga, Bukasa and Namuwongo, and some of them are in critical condition.
Guard of a nearby house who came out very fast with a dog and a panga, so the 2 border guys ran away, but after stealing their property.
Follow them up as fellow borders on borders. Like what this gentleman has just said here, if you have been following, that is the most important strategy that we should adopt.
Starting in Bukasa ward, we have already brought some laws, some bylaws, which is going to be improved by the district councillors, so that we can come back with that laws.
The local leaders of Muyenga, Namuwongo, Bukasa, together with police and UPDF, have called an emergency meeting to discuss this matter. For self-defense and monitoring of the area, all local leaders have been given sticks for security purposes.
Especially, we have given sticks to defense, Sector for Security and chairman, so that when they patrol, at least they have a stick to defend themselves in case they are attacked.
At the security meeting, chaired by Muyenga Chairman Yasin Omar, bylaws were passed on border operations in the areas, including registration of all border drivers, giving them uniforms and installation of cameras at every gate and street lights.
We had a lot of cases recently of border attacks on our people. Therefore, we had to call a meeting. The in charge of UPDF in Kampala was present. He has promised to give us manpower UPDF, which is good to beef up patrols.
Kabalagala Police Commander DPC Emmanuel Mafundo says theft and robbery had increased during the period of Non-Allied Movement Summit, as they had been focusing on the summit and now have resumed operations.
And part of January, where we registered most of these incidents. And in part, it was as a result of the concentration we had given to another mission. The good thing, it ended, and when it ended, we embarked on operations.
The DPC has supported the bylaws passed to fight crime and assured that some of the border motorists involved in these crimes have been arrested and taken to courts of law. The Army Commander Operation in Kampala, Colonel Fred Mwesije, pledged to add a military detach in the area to assist the police in arresting the criminals.
Opening another detach in the area. I am going to direct, before we leave, tomorrow he should come with a written report about the suitability of the place.
Lydia Chomkama, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Uganda People's Congress has unveiled the party's flag bearer in the forthcoming Dokolo District Woman MP by-election. UPC now follows FDC and NRM, while NUP plans to unveil the flag bearer after the week of interest submission. Details in this report.
The National Unity Platform, NUP, has fronted 300 mobilizers ahead of the Dokolo District Woman MP by-election. On Saturday, a delegation led by the Secretary General, David Rubongoya, met party leaders from the 14 sub-counties in the district to mobilize for their candidate.
So we have come also to reawaken our structures, to check on our people, and so that is the purpose for why we are here today. We are glad that people came out in large numbers, and you can see they are energized. Actually, there are many more who wanted to come, but because of logistical issues. So very soon we shall roll out and go to the different sub-counties to meet even our mobilization teams in those particular sub-counties.
One person has already expressed interest to contest under the party's ticket, but Rubongoya said the party will go to the primary election if another shows interest.
The call for expression of interest managed by our election management committee runs until next week.
I am the only lady among these 14 that has shown their interest, who has the vocal voice, who can speak for the common person.
The RISO, the GISO, the PISO, the VISO, the HISO, they threaten our people. We know, we are aware that these state operatives work for the regime. But why do you fear challenge? If they want to come and participate in the politics, they should declare that they are politicians.
Meanwhile, NRM has fronted Janet Adong Elau as flag bearer out of the 7 who had shown interest for the seat. During the mobilization meeting in Doholo, 2 candidates, Judith Ayugi and Lilian Auma Kulu, stepped down, while 5, including Irene Amongi, Dr. Grace Anna Lalama, Rebecca Rao, and Beatrice Abang, the district NRM chairperson, opted to run independently.
And I sympathize with whoever thinks they are standing because they are going to be given jobs or to be given money.
For me, I have not come for job opportunity. I haven't come for the money, but I have come with a desire to speak for my people of Dokolo district.
The issue of electing our flag bearers by standing behind candidates' agents is very primitive.
Rosemary Seninde, the party mobilization secretary, cautioned the independent aspirants against betraying the party.
How will they come back next time to say, please vote for us, we are NRM, when you will be, or when they will be, the cause of NRM losing, God forbid? We are praying that we don't lose this election. And I pray that they are not the cause of whatever may happen against what we believe.
Doholo Woman MP seat fell vacant last month following the death of Cecilia Barbara Timogwal. Over 13 women have expressed interest in the seat, including Cecilia's daughter, Rosemary Aluachogwal. The by-election is slated for 21st March this year. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
The Anti-Corruption High Court has cleared the Inspectorate of Government officer to prosecute Minister Mary Goreti Chitutu on charges of corruption and causing financial loss of 1.5 billion shillings to government. Now, this followed court overruling Minister Mary Goreti Chitutu's application, where she had wanted court to stop the IGG's office from prosecuting her, alleging unfairness and charges against her in the Iron Sheet scandal that were already being investigated by the DPP's office.
The case in the Anti-Corruption High Court before Judge Jane Kajuga came as a result of Minister for Karamoja Affairs Mary Goreti Chitutu was summoned to court in the case filed by the Inspectorate of Government Office, asking her to answer charges of causing financial loss to government of 1.5 billion shillings. Following the summons, Minister Chitutu filed an application in the Anti-Corruption High Court challenging the charges, alleging unfairness, violation of her rights to fair hearing and double trial. Minister Chitutu also said that the offences were being prosecuted and investigated by the Director of Public Prosecution's Office. Minister Chitutu asked court to dismiss the charges, although the prayers were objected by prosecution and the Attorney General's office on grounds that the 2 files carry different facts and they were committed under different transactions. In her ruling, Judge Jane Kajuga dismissed Minister Chitutu's application.
I agree with the respondent that it has not been established how the prosecution of case number 56 will impede the applicant's rights in case number 5 of 2023 especially in light of my finding that the offences in the two cases are not committed in the course of the same. For the provision to apply by necessary implication, there must be a connection or nexus between the offence over which he or she was convicted or acquitted and the offence that they intended prosecution. This rule was not meant to do away with the right to separate trials for different offences.
Although court agrees with the minister's view of incurring expenses on defending us off on both files, there was no way for it to add the file.
I'm also unable to find that the act of the second respondent in initiating additional criminal proceedings against the applicant violates her due process rights guaranteed under the Constitution. I therefore decline to grant the relief sought.
Judge Jane Kajuga has now cleared the Inspectorate of Government's office to prosecute Minister Chitutu on charges of corruption and causing government financial loss of 1.5 billion Ugandan shillings.
I also decline to grant the permanent injunction. The Inspectorate of Government, its employees or agents shall not be restrained from prosecuting the applicant in respect of the alleged mismanagement of supplementary funds released to support peace-building activities in the Karamoja region.
Minister Chitutu will now appear before Magistrate Christopher Opitu to answer the charges. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Buganda Kingdom has warned all people that misuse social media platforms to attack Buganda to stop, because anytime they will be arrested and brought to book. Now this follows the arrest of one TikToker, Ibrahim Musana, alias Pressure 24, who has been using TikTok platforms abusing the Kabaka. This was in an official statement from the Kingdom delivered by the Minister for Information and Buganda spokesperson Israel Kazibwe Chitoke. Now this was also during a press conference held at Bulange Mengo. Meanwhile, police spokesperson Fred Nanga has confirmed Ibrahim's arrest and highlighted on charges he's likely to face.
On 13th day of February 2024, the Kingdom of Uganda formally filed a complaint at the CID headquarters, Hibuli, reporting to the CID director the ongoing misuse of social media, malicious information and hate speech against the Kabaka of Uganda, the Katikiro, and the people who religiously pay allegiance to the Kabaka of Uganda. A copy is attached. All concerned security agencies, including police and crime intelligence, started conducting investigations into the matter and have since, through joint efforts, arrested the individual appearing in all malicious media clips that are making rounds on social media. We wish to categorically state that the complaint and efforts to bring the offender to book were initiated by the Kingdom, and we profoundly thank all other concerned Ugandans who later on joined the pursuit of Musana Ibrahim, who is now under the custody of security personnel. We have over time observed an increase of fake and misleading publications and misinformation circulated by a number of social media users that reduce and offend our cultural norms and values and preach hostility, tribalism, racism, and hate speech, something that is not only morally wrong, but also actionable at law. Kingdom of Uganda has a team and structure that are ready and willing to religiously defend the Kabakaship under the Semasonga Soka of the Kingdom. The Kingdom of Uganda greatly appreciates all security agencies and the public for the prudent and time-shares action taken and for showing their concern and love for the Kabaka, our highly valued and respected cultural norms, values, and practices.
You're aware our crime intelligence task teams carried out this arrest on the 17th of February, where one Musana Ibrahim, aged 27, a resident of Kawuga in Mukono, and also a resident of Chira Road, was picked following a series of reported hate crimes, acts of incitement to violence, defamation of the Kabaka of Uganda, the Katikiro, and a lot of offensive communication through various digital platforms on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. And so the suspect was handed over to the Directorate of CID in Chibuli, who are now processing him on these various charges of misuse of social media, hate speech, malicious information under the Computer Misuse Act and incitement to violence.
We'll now take a short commercial break and be back with more UBC News Tonight. Please do stay tuned.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Have you packed more with Harbor Jelly and Harbor Foam? Yes, we packed. It will protect your skin from skin rashes. More with pack. It is a new improved more with Harbor Jelly. So soft and smooth. It is a more with Harbor Jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Herbal Jelly and Herbal Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
Hi Fifi, how are you?
I'm fine. Baby, whenever I eat chips and chicken, I feel stomachache, joint pain and body weakness.
My dear, go to Timex Nutrition Center and learn the best food for your body. And get treatment according to your blood group.
Are you sure?
Yes.
By the way, do you know your blood group, genotype, and how much you need to exercise? Come to Timex Nutrition Center for professional advice on how to manage your health and immune boosting. At Timex, we treat diseases like diabetes, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, pressure, and many more. For details, find us at our headquarters in Kampala on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor. We also have a branch in Barara, or call us on 0758 819952 or 0778 288361. Timex, be your own doctor.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into more news. Now, a section of members of parliament want government to stop extending support to grant-aided schools and consider empowering more seed schools. The MPs say that some schools getting support from government have abused the education roadmap by charging exorbitant fees. The Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports has engaged the petitioners against the exorbitant school fees charges.
Last week, the members of parliament did not appreciate the government's response on the concerns regarding some schools, which have made it a habit to charge prohibited school fees.
These directives, we are aware, and they have been issued since 2020, as she has alluded here. The report we wanted was to tell us that the Honorable so-and-so who owns this school, charging very exorbitant school fees, has been sanctioned.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, asked the Committee on Education and Sports to revisit the concerns and report back on Tuesday this week.
This report, which needed...
The Committee on Education and Sports started with engaging with some of the petitioners against the vice, including Tororo District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Opendi. The session was closed from the media. The MPs want government to withdraw funding for the grant-aided schools, since some of them have continuously abused the policies relating to school fees.
Although private schools are bound by the privatization policy, we still think that education is a service. It shouldn't be commercialized, and there should be a cap on how much parents, even in private schools, should pay.
Then we have a saying of private school vis-a-vis government schools. I believe whether it is government or private, the charging of schools must be controlled by government, so that these private schools that are charging $1 million, I saw the other day, there's a school charging 1 million shillings for swimming.
Tororo District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Opendi, wants the funds to be channeled to the seed schools under the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer Program. Government, through the Seed Schools program, constructs schools in the constituencies without government-aided schools.
Leave the private schools and those others that do not want to reduce fees. Stop them from accessing government funds. And in that way, we shall be actually providing education services to the majority. But also, we need to amend the law. There are loopholes in the current Education Act. And of course, once that also is looked at, then we shall be able to at least fairly solve the problem.
Recently, the First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said the Cabinet pronounced that all schools that receive public funds must implement free and compulsory universal education program. Minister Janet said that the Ministry of Education and Sports will liaise with the current 105 public secondary schools and 109 public primary schools that are beneficiaries of public funds but have not been implementing USE and UPE.
And Cabinet also went ahead to prescribe a list of 12 items which are categorized as not allowed to be charged as part of school fees in pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools. And these should be formally communicated to all schools by the Ministry of Education and Sports in the very near future. So, government shall start implementing free and compulsory UPE and USE in a phased manner, starting with UPE in financial year 2024-2025, and for this, an additional resource of 309.16 billion is required on top of the 1.3 trillion that the government already spends on UPE in financial year 22-23.
The Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports is expected to present its findings on Tuesday this week. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
On Saturday this week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, also the Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, signed the executive order and launched the UPDF Establishment Book of 2021. The defense spokesperson, Brigadier General Felix Kulaije, says that this book will boost national security and enhance the effectiveness of the Uganda People's Defense Forces and its department.
The Friday and Saturday meeting preceded by the High Command session saw the unveiling of the Uganda People's Defence Forces Establishment Book 2021, marking a milestone in the modernization of Uganda's defence structures.
I, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defence Forces, by virtue of the powers enshrined under Article 98, Clause 1 of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and Section 8, Clause 1 and Clause 2A of the UPDF Act 205, hereby present the UPDF Establishment 2021 an instrument of delegated command, control, and administration.
President Museveni compared the role of the UPDF Establishment 2021 to that of the medical professionals, highlighting, preserving, and safeguarding the nation's well-being.
Of defense and the establishment, the structures of how you are going to preserve security, peace in Uganda, and if there is need for treatment, then what and who is doing what.
The defense spokesperson, Brigadier General Felix Kraige, says that UPDF Establishment Book 2021 is an intellectual property of the UPDF.
It streamlines reporting mechanisms, rationale for recruitment, and effective personnel management.
The document enables the changes of the merging of some of the UPDF departments and the creation of the new ones.
That the titles of the different chiefs at the joint headquarters have been changed in nomenclature. For instance, the office of the defense spokesperson will now be called the Defense Public Information Office. The Joint Chief of Staff is Chief of Joint Staff.
Meanwhile, Kraige was concerned about the escalating insecurity in the Masisi and Lushuru in eastern DRC, which has triggered a fresh wave of displacement and hindered economic transformation of the two neighboring states.
We believe security is for the purpose, and the main purpose is economic activity by the Wananchi. So our people can't sell things across the border, the other side they can't sell things across this side of the border. The nation says, I no longer need you, you leave. Those were the circumstances that made ICRAF leave, because the DRC authorities did not renew the mandate of ICRAF, which expired on the 8th of December last year.
Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The Directorate of Manifesto Implementation in the Office of the President say that innovation in science will mitigate effects of climate change. The Director Manifesto Implementation, Willis Bashasha, says that there is need to reinforce government's efforts in driving Uganda's development agenda, as Henry Okrut reports.
The process of preparing food in every society involves firewood and charcoal. It is a trend that environmental experts say 90% of households use firewood and charcoal to prepare food.
Our desire is that
For innovation, Makerere University School of Food Technology, Nutrition and Bioengineering has invented an indoor solar cooker.
the motivation was to supply reliable and self-sufficient energy so that one does not have to incur daily costs for charcoal, electricity and gas.
The Maxwell cooker offers 100% undisturbed cooking and zero emissions.
Unlike the previous solar cookers that were being developed that required one to cook from outside. So we developed this as an indoor solar cooker.
The safety aspects of it, to being climate smart, 3 also being cost effective, and as far as its sustainability is concerned, we see that science is slowly taking center stage in the transformation journey of our country.
The project is funded by the government of Uganda through the Makerere Research and Innovation Fund and the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, Office of the President.
The initial funding from STI was 175 million, and to say that we need to commercialize, to go on the market, we need approximately 1.3 billion.
And we want to thank His Excellency the President for the creation of the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, which formerly was a ministry, for purposes of championing the innovations in the science area as far as transforming our society is concerned.
Government has been campaigning for such innovations, although it calls for more funding towards research. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The former minister, Dr. Crispus Chiyonga, has asked the Diocese of Kasese to improve health services in order to save the lives of mothers. He was representing the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, at a fundraising drive for the completion of a theatre at Kasanga Health Center 3, which is under the Diocese of Kasese.
Dr. Crispus Chiyonga says that the health facility needs to be upgraded to Health Center 4 since it also serves patients from DRC.
A Catholic church yambe indiambe akasanga hano yeyiveka hano a Catholic church tukura yeyo kai kulekani with a big catchment not only in Uganda here but in the East area Congo. Already the
Vicar General of the Diocese of Kasese, Reverend Fad Landes Bwambare, expressed concern over mothers who deliver in bad conditions at the facility.
So we thought of putting up an operating theatre, especially for the pregnant mothers. Sometimes they get challenges and we have no time to refer them to Bwera Hospital or somewhere else. So we thought we should have an operating theatre here.
Bira Rita, the head of maternity department, says this still has challenges.
In January and Feb, we had 2 cases of the neonates dying from here.
Over 70 million shillings was collected in cash, where the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, supported the construction with 5 million shillings.
Kagadi residents are mourning separate incidents of murder of 4 family members in Isunga and Nyakarongo sub-county in Kagadi district. The first incident happened when residents of Chisinsima and Chijonjomi villages in Kagadi district were plunged into shock and sorrow as a 34-year-old man committed double murders within his own family.
The victims have been identified as John Chamuhangire, aged 55, and a 9-year-old Lawrence Musinguzi, all residents of Chijonjomi village in Isunga sub-county, Kagadi district.
Atunyankyakara twakega mukatugende turura omwana tusangire natoka nagamba uraba nosamba orugi rwange noruca nomwana nkumuhita kandi we yanyetera omwana ati atanka kudobola enjo omwana akamucumita kimaze kwita.
Residents say the suspect, Rafael Karamaji, has been working well with his brother, whom he killed.
Hati orugi harwakingukire omwana nairuka kirarazi izima amazi kumucumita ebihiyo bisatu amtemere nekisokimo omwana nairuka kugwera muzairewe hati bwamara kuyiruka agwere muzairewe ise nawayenda agwereki mwene wabu owakutema omwana we hati ayenzi kumugwera natandika kutema atemoha isogwo omwana.
After killing the child, Karamaji also killed the father who had come to rescue his son. Karamaji went into hiding before he was discovered by residents who later burnt him to death.
timukurugamu muunju n'abataka ne bakola ki ne bamuita.
Kagadi Resident District Commissioner Lydia Nutereho promised to carry on with investigations.
When you see what has happened here today, it is as if people are not human. They were burning as if they were burning charcoal, as if they were burning something which is not a living. It is so sad. And people were, it was as if they are burning something funny, they were burning a tree, but burning someone, a human being, in this manner, it shows that people are still blind. People are animals. People are not really doing the work of God. There is no godness in this. I'm appealing to the public to stop taking the laws in their hands.
Eric Musana, the Wiaga East MP, says the cause of these murders were as a result of domestic violence.
The biggest reason for us is now to help the community to understand, should there be such a problem, there is already a mechanism formulated within our laws of Uganda that we should sit down as a family, resolve matters.
Similarly, residents of Mabali A village in Nyakarongo sub-county, Kagadi district, discovered the body of a 45-year-old man dumped alongside a community access road.
This is so unfortunate to the people around this area. This is so unfortunate to the government of Uganda and the leadership.
The victim, identified as Matayo Ukaza, was a resident of the same area.
The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has called for applications for assistant registrars and data entrants to support the forthcoming ID renewal exercise. NIRA Executive Director Rosemary Chisembo reiterated on the particulars of those to be considered and must be recommended from the district administration to parish level.
The recruited personnel are required to possess proficient knowledge in data entry and be eloquent in the languages spoken within the districts of application, as this will enable them to confirm nationality of those applying for national ID renewal.
You must live in the district where you seek to be a registration assistant. 2, 3, you must speak the local languages. So if you live in Fort Portal, you are actually Mtoro, but you cannot speak Mtoro for one reason or another. You do not qualify to apply to be a registration assistant. Then the ISO and the LC1 chairman will tell us that you actually live in that area. The fifth and equally important, you must be proficient with computers. Not your mobile phone. You must be able to do data capture.
Citizens by naturalization and those with dual citizenship are advised to visit the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control to obtain certificates of citizenship as a prerequisite for registration.
There is a process called naturalization. That process is handled by the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control. It doesn't mean that you are less Ugandan than me. No. It simply means that we are recognizing the fact that we have welcomed you, you are part of us, and we are making a written record of that.
The new identification cards are expected to have more features encoded, so those with running IDs are advised.
So in an internet cafe or at home, you cannot capture your biometrics that you can cheat them. Fingerprints, iris and pictures will not be captured in the at home. Those ones you have to come to a biometric, to where we are stationing, and we take your biometrics.
The national ID renewal is free of charge to citizens with their original national IDs, but it will, however, be at a fee for individuals that need to change particulars. Vanessa Patricia Nandago and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Hi, my name is Dennis Masindo Nyango, former Uganda Cranes captain and goalkeeper. My kind of a tank at home is a Crest tank. I use it at the farm and at home. I recommend it for everyone.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Mosenero, has revealed that the government has developed the Engineering Development and Innovation Center to support innovations. The end-to-end facility will encompass concept design to mass production, allowing engineers to translate their ideas into reality. She was presiding over the graduation ceremony of the first cohort of graduates from Sasa College of Industrial Design.
Sasa College of Industrial Design has graduated the first cohort of 14 students who completed a one-year training course in hands-on skills, idea creation and innovation. These graduates have developed innovative projects and prototypes aimed at solving societal problems. The director of the college, Kenneth Semogedere, states that the industrial design concept aims to equip graduates with skills that enable them to think critically while earning.
So we try to take on people who have come with degrees in engineering, architecture, fine art, ICT, and the whole point is that mix is supposed to bring out a product. Even your camera, it can't work until you have an electrician. So you have ICT, until you have a mechanical engineer. If there are any fluids or any moving parts, he has to figure that out. The structural engineer must make sure it's strong enough.
Jordan Inyombi has designed a medical hospital bed aimed at enhancing the well-being of patients during admission, eliminating mobility inconveniences.
I chose that because when you're admitted in a hospital, most of the time you'll spend 90% lying in that bed, which would really result into you developing bed sores. So my innovation was all around trying to make sure that this bed has that mechanism that converts into a wheeler.
The government has established a network of institutions in universities and developed the Engineering Development and Innovation Center to support innovations.
You just come there because it is an end-to-end facility, from concept, design, prototyping, and mass production. It is an end-to-end facility. It's the first of its kind. I am hoping that I will be able to put up regional ones in the future, but this is the first in its kind. It has residential, so you can stay there and prototype and work through. But we are still training the trainers of trainers.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports reiterated the government's commitment through policies to support innovations crucial in achieving Vision 2040.
As you embark on the next chapter of your journey, remember that learning is a lifelong activity. Embrace change, stay curious, continue to refine your skills. The field of industrial design is ever evolving, and your capacity to adapt and innovate will be your greatest asset. I'm very sure that your education has equipped you with the tools and insight necessary to thrive in this competitive landscape.
The initial course fee was 5 million, but now, through scholarships, the college is covering 40% of the tuition fees to enable graduates in architecture, engineering, ICT and fine art to seize an opportunity to develop and support their ideas. Ivan Kahwa and Dan Logemwa, UBC News.
Constructed 7 years ago, the all-weather Katosi Nyenga Road was envisioned to transform trade, enhance household incomes and alleviate congestion on the Kampala-Jinja Highway. However, it's falling short of expectations. Smallholder farmers and residents of Buyikwe district lament the poor state of the feeder roads, hindering their engagement in commercial markets, as Dennis Kwa reports.
The 70-kilometer Mukono-Chetume Katosi Nyenga Road, costing 283 billion shillings, aimed to spur development in trading centers like Naja. While some progress is evident, doubts loom over its effectiveness. Paul Kajimu, a commercial fish farmer, voices frustrations over the deteriorating feeder roads.
This was a strategic road they put in place. It's not transporting any lumamongering. It's transporting products from the lake, from the farmers. I can tell the government, I can tell everyone that this road, the feeder roads, if well maintained, there is going to be very good business.
His concerns echo throughout Naja Trading Center, an essential hub connecting Lugazi Town and Chiindi landing site on the Lake Victoria shores.
It's a short distance from Chiindi up to where? Up to Lugazi. A lot of dust is on this way.
I'm a taxpayer, yet I'm suffering like this. I appeal to the relevant authorities to address our plight.
The road is very badly off. Potholes are all over. We move jumping like we are skipping anthills. Women from Buvuma who get complications and need to be rushed to Lugazi Hospital are also greatly inconvenienced by the road. The ambulance moves as it hits in the potholes, and some of the women give birth in the ambulances while others arrive at the hospital when they are in a worse state. Kindly help the women.
During a recent community interaction in Buyikwe district, President Yoweri Museveni was told of the dire state of road infrastructure.
The roads here in Busoga, there are many roads which we want to do, but we shall start with some major ones which we have been trying to work on for a long time.
Emerging potholes on a road barely a decade old add to the public's worries.
I had not attended to them, but when they told me, I saw some between Nyenga and the bridge, the Nairo bridge. So I wanted General Katumba to go on that road. And what happened? We have just finished that road.
Paul Kajimu emphasizes how poor infrastructure adversely affects smallholder farmers' access to markets. The distance to the nearest all-weather road from farm areas significantly impacts their ability to trade.
Out there on the infrastructure, which I said in the beginning, that is wanting. Our feeder roads are in a very terrible state. We just call upon the authority, the road authority, Ministry of Works, to at least also give us a hand, because we are investors. We are employing people. We have a product to bring to the market. We have a product to get from the market, the feeds.
Every electioneering season, we are promised that our roads will be worked on. There are very many islands on Lake Victoria. Business people come from as far as Kenya. This road is the shortest from Tihindi landing site. People from Buvuma Island as well as Namayingo use this route. The Katosi-Nyenga road's failure to meet its objectives is a pressing issue for Boikwe residents. Improving road infrastructure is imperative to unlock the region's economic potential and fulfill the promises made during its construction. Dennis Igora for UBC News.
Central Bank has partnered with the Bankers Association to develop a banking industry guideline against fraud in the banking system. While in the deliberations of the banking industry on mitigation of fraud, bankers are challenged to build resilient applications to safeguard consumers' interests and trust.
Rising cases of financial fraud and cybersecurity in the banking industry has attracted significant mitigation measures to revive public trust in the banking sector.
I think fraud has been existent in our industry, and the launch of these two events is a culmination of the need for us to sensitize not just the sector but the wider economy about the need for us to mitigate fraud, to ensure that we rebuild trust not just in the financial industry but also in the wider economy.
The expertise acquired by IT personnel can involuntarily pose a threat to public safety when utilized to evade security measures.
They have so many networks across the various sectors in order to perpetuate the activities. Likewise, they have IT experts to help perpetuate these activities.
Bank of Uganda, working with stakeholders in the banking industry, have developed a banking industry guideline on the mitigation of fraud.
To sign, is going to sign as well.
Towards the strengthening the bedrock of trust and confidence that underpins our financial institutions.
These are two important frameworks for the banking industry, and they're really meant to ensure that we collaborate, not just as the banking industry, but the wider financial ecosystem, to ensure that we ably collaborate to mitigate fraud.
Recommendations by banks include the revisiting of penalties given to convicts of serious financial crime and cybersecurity, which are not deterring in nature.
We unfortunately sometimes see these fraud convicts being let off their cuffs easily, or paying small fines, or released within a short time before you know it, they're back into the system and back at the same games that they're so good at.
The high-rate digital illiteracy among the public seems to have escalated forms of financial fraud and other related cybersecurity cases in the evolving financial technologies system. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Luwamo for UBC.
And with that, let's take a look at the money markets today.
the production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
Are you a parent or guardian looking for a good and affordable school for your child? Look no further. Mandela Senior Secondary School Hoima is the answer. It is a boarding mixed senior secondary school offering arts and sciences. We have good science and computer laboratories, a fully stocked library, and registered with the Ministry of Education and Sports with the center number at an affordable fee structure for every parent. To register your child with Mandela SS in Hoima for the year 2023, call 0772 411 921 or 0771 850 217. Mandela SS Hoima, caring to achieve.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports news here at UBC. Now, the battle for who will become Uganda's national Super 14 chess champion is at the highest point. This is after 8 rounds of chess at Nobview Hotel in Tinda. John Barnes Sentamo has a deep.
In the 2020 Uganda National Chess Championship, Arthur Segwanyi, Penina Nakabo and Patricia Kauma are topping at Nobview Hotel in Ntinda. Individual master Arthur Segwanyi has 7.5 points with Nyola Waswa second on 6, while FIDE master Haruna Nsubuga is third on 5.5 in the open category.
Under the National Development Plan 3, we are all aware that Uganda is supposed to be moving into middle-income status. But we, as the Chess Federation, we are taking the lead and we are trying to empower our players. The winner in the open category will walk away with titled land, and this should torpedo our players into becoming landlords and the top class in the country.
In the women's category, Penina Nakabo and Patricia Kauma are level atop the standings on 6.5 points, with woman candidate master Shakira Ampaire third on 6.
The pressure is real, the pressure is serious, everybody is very, very strong. So I've been trying to maintain my calm. So I take one game at a time. That's how I maintain my composure.
It's a good experience and I'm learning a lot. And hopefully next time I'll do much better. But we look forward to the best.
The championship, dubbed the Super 14, has the nation's best players, making it unpredictable.
There is no one, even the national junior champion, Martin Mwase, is not a pushover. So there is nowhere to run when people want 3 points. Everyone is tough. So the standards are higher than the last time we played.
Round 9 will be highlighted by the women's top of the table clash between Penina Nakabo and Patricia Kauma. The top 5 in each category will earn places on the national team for the World Chess Olympiad and the Pioneer BRICS Games in Russia later this year.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for the 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. But before we sign out, we would like to compel you, especially the young generation, to take care with whatever social media messages you pass, because you do not know how far this might take you. Also, with the advent of artificial intelligence, you also do not know what kind of information you're passing. So please do take care as you utilize these devices. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language. See you at 10.